Olivia Nash, there you are in person, kind of,
Kind of. I'm here. I made it.
all the way from Austin, Texas, one of my favorite cities.
Me too.
Uh, Growing up in Austin, though, and getting into this business, talk to me a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, we've have a pretty great community here. I actually started in the or not the film community, the theater community. I was like, that's confusing. I started in the theater community when I was younger, did a lot of community theater all the way through school. And then going to college, I was like, I'm gonna get a business degree, but in the intent of going into the film industry and learning the business side. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm really gonna like hop in here, make those film connections right after college. And I did a lot of screenwriting during that time and like built up my network. And then decided I was like, I'm gonna be a director. And that was kind of my way into the film industry is just kind of learning all the different aspects of it.
You know, those people, and there's quite a bit, who are actors, have started in the theater community, the live stage. I
Yeah.
think make better film actors because they understand the full process of acting because film acting is a very intimate kind of acting, while theater acting is very broad, and you're actually speaking to the guy in the back row.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. It's definitely a form of training. Like it's with theater acting, you go through such extensive training. And using that training into film, it was is it's similar but different. And like how you said, it's bigger. You're doing a whole show for say 2 hours, and if you mess up, you got to make sure you catch it. Where like on film, you mess up and you could do it again. And there's a little more grace there. But once you've had to do that, where you're like, I am this character for a full 2 hours and I'm in it. I think there's a lot of ways to like use that training into the film world.
I also think that theater acting and training makes you a better, how can I put it? It gives you teamwork. It
Yeah,
provides you with a sense of that, and there are no divas that come out of the theater. That
yeah.
everybody understands that we're all part of a community.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of that into film too is like realizing like it is a collaboration from everybody, and every single person on set is so important. From PA to extra to, all of it. Like every single person is a part of the team, and learning from theater, yeah, we are a team. We are going in it. And we all have to pick each other up. And I kind of took that into when making my feature and kind of using that for our crew and cast, and that we are all important at the same level, and this is how we are going to make this film together.
Yeah, and it's such a lovely thing because we as actors, because I started in musical theater and all that
Yeah.
back when the earth was very new.
Oh my
And and you learn also the importance of direction, lighting, makeup, and you involve yourself with all of that, which is just a beautiful thing to share with other people.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like you're taught every element, and that's what I wanted to take into film. And like, that's kind of, I guess that's where my mindset went is like, I need to learn all of it. I need to understand every single part of it. Even if I decided like I'm just going to be an actor in this film, at least I understand what everyone else is going through. And that way I can support in any way that I can.
And let's talk about screenwriting because that gets us into your feature,
Yeah.
High. Um, Learning how to screenwrite is also it's like writing a novel. I mean,
Yeah.
you're brilliant. I know this because you've taken business classes and you've excelled and all of that. But boy, screenwriting is a lonely occupation.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's like, coming out of it, I've always loved writing from when I was younger, but I didn't know what direction to go with it. And coming out of college, I was like, I just see things in movie. So I was like, okay, writing a screenplay, like this feels more natural to me than trying to write a novel. So I really studied it and I was just focused in on like, getting the screenwriting books that you do and just trying to understand that, but also reading screenplays, and seeing that the rules that they're setting sometimes are not what you need to do. And like you break the screenwriting rules depending on the story, you know?
Yeah,
So it was just me learning all of that aspect of the writing because I always think the writing is pretty much the most important because that is your roadmap to making the film. And if it's on the page and it's your guide, then you're pretty much good to go with your elements, you know.
yeah,
But yeah, screenwriting element. I thought I was going to be a screenwriter and just a screenwriter for a while. And then while I was in the writing process, I was like, no, I'm going to be a director.
yeah. Well, one teaches you the other. I don't think you can
Yeah.
direct without knowing how to write.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's true. I think understanding the structure of the story and the characters, I mean, that makes a good director anyway. So understanding the screenwriting process is just as important.
Characters, when you're writing, will fight you.
Yes. Yes, that's so true. Like there's moments where you're just listening to them and you're like, okay, we're going in this direction. And one moment they're like, just kidding. And they flip it on you and you're like, I had no idea it was going in this way. Like we're following this plot now.
And Lavender is such a wonderful character to play.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
created her.
Yeah, yeah, she's complex, and I think that's something that I really want to show from a female character is all the emotions that she's going through. She's not one tone, she's so many, and there's so many things to her to build.
Yeah, paraphrasing Mark Twain, I mean, you created Lavender, but she also created you.
Yeah,
And people who don't write won't understand that.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, there's elements of her that you really get to dive into and understand. And just seeing like from Lavender's perspective, like how closed off she is and trying to understand that and where that's coming from. And even the survival mode that she kind of goes into, and we get to kind of see her come out of that within the story.
Now you have all your hair. So producing and directing and starring, usually you do this a lot.
Yeah.
Was it was it a hard thing to kind of get done because you're doing the business side as well as the creative side?
Absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine anyone would say filmmaking is easy. If they do, I want them to show me and be like, "What do you mean it's easy? Like show me the way." But yeah, it was hard, but it is something that I love. Like I just love it so much that it doesn't feel hard. You know what I mean? Like I ran into a lot of challenges, of course, wearing so many hats, but it's just like having the passion for filmmaking. It was like, well, I can get through this because I love this story and I love these characters, and I'll always find a solution because this leads to this character, and I'm gonna make sure that we're gonna hit these plot points. And even, yeah, the business side. I mean, you run into bumps, but going into with an attitude of being like, but we'll figure it out
Mhm.
and it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think you need that because there is that whimsy that you have to be a director and to be a producer.
Yeah.
You can't worry about the money all the time. You have to worry about what's in front of you and working with that. I mean, if the weather changes, it's part of the script.
Yeah, and that happened to us for sure. Like we were shooting in August in Texas, which it never rains ever. Like it's super hot. And the first week it was like, huh, it's gonna rain. And I was like, when? When does it ever rain in August in Texas? But it did, and we figured it out. And like that's the thing is like with this amazing team, I think all of us are very quick to think. And so, like, they were able to, when I made a decision, we would adjust very quickly. And that worked for us. And I have to say, too, like, I had another producer, Lindsay. She was amazing. And she
Mhm.
was on set and she was our production manager. And, she would take so much of the producing while we were filming off of me, but she would consult me on decisions. And I think we worked really well together.
It's a beautiful team that you put together, and we'll talk about your cast in a minute. But
Yeah.
you auditioned your crew too, and talk to me
I
about that.
did. Yeah, so I put out a crew call and I just had everyone send like their resumes and I looked through them and a lot of it like I wasn't looking for people that had immense amount of experience. I was looking for people that had such passion for the love of filmmaking, just as I did. And so we would end up doing like Zoom calls and we would just talk. I wanted to see if we worked very well together in the way that we could communicate. And then, yeah, I would ask them about their experience, like what part they like to do and how they do it and all of that. But if we really vibed, I felt like this was going to work for a good team building. Team building for the whole crew. And a lot of like going into college and getting a business degree, I went for management. So I kind of got to take some of those elements and apply that to hiring for my crew.
Yeah, it's very important to make every crew member feel like part of a family.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens naturally, sometimes it's got to be a little bit pushed.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's so different. We had a smaller team versus say I had hundreds and hundreds of crew members. It's a little more difficult. You can't be like, okay, everybody's gonna be super passionate about this, right? But it's just what worked for us for this story. And because our heads of departments had to be very involved in what they were doing and using their creative outlet here, I just wanted to make sure that our team together we were on the same page of this story for sure.
And all your trust exercises that you took in acting school all paid off.
Yes, absolutely. Got to use those, bring them in, be like, okay, guys, in the crew. And then the crew's looking at you like, what do you mean?
See, a good director is a control freak, but then you have to let go.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's what's great is with this crew, every single person was so talented. And so I would communicate my vision, but I was also like, this is also your work. I want you to be proud of this. And if they had something that they really saw that could improve the story, improve certain moments, I wanted that collaboration. I wanted them to be able to talk to me about it.
Talk to me now about this film because this is dear to your heart. I mean, you're the director, producer, writer, star. First of all, is it hard to direct yourself?
This is what's crazy is that felt in like easy to me. Like it felt natural to me. And so many people will be like, how do you direct and act at the same time, right? And to me, it just felt so natural. Like since I was little, I was with my friends directing and acting when we played pretend. And I'd be like, okay, guys, we're gonna like play Harry Potter. I'm gonna play Hermione, and you guys are gonna play Harry and Ron, and then we're gonna go over here, and this is what we're doing. And it was like, to me, I think that of allowing my childhood self to come in and remember, like, this is my passion, this is what I love, it gave that ease to me. But it's also like, as a director, going through the casting process and being like, making sure that the people that I cast, I knew that they had it. I knew they understood the character. I knew that they were professional and they ultimately I can help guide them, but they knew what they were doing and we could be a team together with that.
And working with your cinematographer, how was that?
Oh my God, amazing. I love, like, we formed such a friendship. Like, Daniel is one of my best friends. And it's crazy because he was DP, but then he was also like, I'd like to edit it. And he also did color. And so we formed this great relationship from um, pre-production all the way through post. And the thing is Daniel was on the proof of concept that I made for the film as well. And that's kind of where we built our relationship is filming one scene from High. And he had such a love for the story when he talked, he read the script and he talked to me about it. And I knew he understood the characters and everything to him was about making sure we captured the feeling of the characters and the look for the characters. And it was something that we completely agreed on with that is it always came down to the story and the people. So collaborating with him was amazing because I would bring him a shot list and I'm like, this is my idea. This is what I want to do. And then he would go through my shot list and be like, okay, I like this, but let's try this. Or like, let's like combine here. And it wasn't just like one or the other, it was together. And I really liked that in that way of like, I can communicate my ideas, but he felt comfortable enough to be like, hey, this might look better here. and then we could be like, yes, that's amazing.
Is it true that while you're directing a scene, whether you're in it or somebody else, and you're looking through the camera
Mhm.
at what's going on, it never really the magic doesn't reveal itself until you're watching it on a larger screen when you're looking at the dailies.
That's hard because, like, I think it's different if I was just directing and I was also not acting in it as well. A lot of my trust, like, yes, I would do playback and I would watch things, for sure. But a lot of when I knew I got it was because I felt it within the scene. And then the times that I was just directing and I didn't have to act, which I think was one full day of not having to act at all. I was able to know in the moment because I can feel it.
Mm.
Like I was able to like see it and feel it. I think once I went to post, I would look at those scenes that I felt and I knew there was usually two takes that I was like in between on, but
Mm.
it was still the same takes. And I think that was something that was amazing to me is it all came off of feeling. And I think a lot of directors have a lot of emotion just as much as actors do.
What a marvelous cast you put together.
Yeah, aren't they great?
I think back to my days in theater and, even before that, when I was doing Shakespeare,
Yeah.
using these people again and again as a troupe,
Yeah.
I think you just have discovered gold.
Yeah, they're amazing. Like honestly, the talent that they all have and then coming together, I was blown away. Like it was like I knew in the moment when I was casting them, but then the day of they would make choices that I would just be like, absolutely, I love this. Like they're taking on their craft and it was so beautiful to see.
Did you allow some ad-libbing going off the script?
Some of it, yes. So like mostly that came from Peter's character, Charlie. He took Peter and he understood him and felt him. And Charlie just being who he is, he has such a comedy to him. And knowing that like the father is kind of the comic relief, he would ad-lib things at the end of a scene. So he would try to stick close to the script. And then at the very end, he would give something new for each take to see if it would stay. And some of them did. They
You know,
definitely
I giggled because he's very funny. He has funny eyes.
He's very funny. Man, he can make you laugh. Like he's so fun on set too. And he's just like just an amazing human being. Like I don't know how to like describe how amazing Charlie is. And like just watching him take on Peter and acting with him, I was like, wow, in the moment when you're acting with someone like you really can learn so much from them. And I feel like he taught me a lot too in those moments.
What do you think audiences will take away once they discover High?
Oh, that's hard. I mean, audiences, I would hope that they take away, um, let me think on that. That one's tough. There's so many themes, right, in this story. And the thing is I want audiences to be able to interpret it for them. Every single person is probably going to have a different interpretation of this story based off of mental health. And that with this story, it was designed in your experience of what you've dealt with in the past. You're going to see a different ending than somebody else. And I have also heard so many different theories on the ending as well. And I think that's the great part is because it was meant to open up a conversation. So I'm really just wanting them to be able to have that conversation about mental health, bring awareness to these topics and be able to talk about it.
Yeah, and I think for me, the film has a gentleness about it. How can I put that?
Yeah, yeah.
It a family feeling. I mean, it's just a wonderfully done movie. And you know what helps this film so much? Your score is wonderful, and
Oh
it
my God.
underlines everything that's going on, and it doesn't take over the film.
Yeah, that's another thing. Absolutely, the score is amazing. Paul, who played Dylan in the film, he did the sound design and composed
Wow.
the music. And that was another thing is like going into post because he knows the characters so well, because we know our characters so well, and we could collaborate together. We were able to communicate the feeling for everything. And specifically with the score, like we had Dylan and Lavender's melody is what we called
Yeah.
it, and we would hear it throughout the film. And I told him it was important to me to make sure that we would pull those in throughout so that it hits by the end of what people need to feel because it was foreshadowed throughout. But we also have Katie and Daniel's melody, and you kind of see the shift in tone for each one because they hold different love stories together. But yeah,
Well,
Paul knocked it out of the park.
it's wonderful journeys, but Lavender's theme,
Yeah.
which is what I called it,
Yeah.
it permeates through the whole film because your character is there whether she's not there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like she goes through such a growth in this story from just being so closed off and dealing with her trauma to the very end of having Dylan, help her work through her trauma and seeing a different side of what it looks like. Dylan and Lavender are mirror characters, and I've always looked at them like that, and they both decided to respond to trauma in different ways, and I love that they were able to learn from each other in the story.
Are you going to be screening the film in different cities to help advocate for mental health and awareness?
I would absolutely love to. I was actually approached today about doing something, and we'll see if we hold another screening in Austin for a fundraiser for it. It's for a theater here that's really
Mhm.
needing to get a bigger space to be able to help actors and improv troops. So we'll see if that ends up working out. But I would absolutely love to hold more screenings for mental health and like opening that conversation. I don't have anything planned as of right now, but it is out on Apple TV and Amazon right now, so people can go out there and start watching
And support it.
and support. Absolutely.
And you privately, you're an advocate and you work,
Yeah.
to raise money and awareness. Is
Yeah.
there a website that people can go to donate?
I personally don't have a website, but I have worked with a foundation called Engage and Heal, and they can go to their website and donate for them. They're a mental health awareness, all about trying to break the stigma of
Yeah.
talking about mental health. So for sure, if people want to head to Engage and Heal and support them, I love that foundation. Amelia is the founder, and she's just been so supportive through this whole process.
Wonderful. Olivia Nash, it's such a great experience just to chat with you. You're so young and yet you're so brilliant. It's like you've lived 1,000 lives.
Oh my gosh, this is so sweet, Tony. I love talking with you. This has been really fun.
Believe me, I just had a ball talking with you.
I love talking with you. This has been a great conversation.
Come out to Salt Lake City and we'll grab a bad cup of coffee.
Oh my gosh, that sounds great. Definitely.